Thanks for connecting with us on today's episode of Techbridge on Lagos Television. This is where we connect all the dots for you. We make sure that you have technology working for you, and you need accurate and timely information to achieve this. I'm Shoyifunmi today. I welcome you to Techbridge on Lagos Television today. So it's been an amazing 2020 and of course 2021 full of high hopes from everyone, not only technology experts alone, because eventually we see that a lot of people are deploying technology to solve their problems more and more, especially with the pandemic that broke out last year, or let me say in 2019. So today's episode is dedicated to the expectations we should have, how we should expect technology to save us more in 2021. So a lot of technology experts have various opinions about these various expectations. So I'll just take them one after the other. Please stay with me. It's still Techbridge on Lagos Television. Thanks for staying with Techbridge on Lagos Television. And talking about expectations, it actually stemmed from what happened in 2020, 2019, and that is talking about the COVID-19. Really, that is playing a major role in the expectations we have for 2021. Because in 2020, we had a lot of, should I say, revelations. The reality faced us heads on, and we discovered that we can't really do without technology. If we must survive this stage of our lives, we must embrace technology, not necessarily because we want to enroll for any technological course or technology course or science courses, but because we must upskill, we must reskill ourselves to ensure that we make ourselves open to technological solutions, the offerings that it has. So, doing justice to the expectations that we have for 2021, I'll be talking with Tochukwu Egesi. He's a key player in this sector. And Tochukwu, thanks for joining us on today's episode of Techbridge via Zoom.
Thank you very much, Say. Thanks for having me.
All right, so talking about the expectations, I guess we should just start from your view about 2020. In a few words, how do you view 2020?
Well, once again, thanks, Say, for having me. We are all expecting the vaccines. However, since last year, we've all been working from home. But what we are seeing is that somehow some key metrics, some key consumer engagements, some key technology firms have been growing. And we can cite a few examples. The likes of Zoom. The stock value has gone up the roof since the last 1 year. From about $35, it went like over 300% up. We also have Netflix. People are seeing more movies at home. The stock price has gone up extensively. Google is over $1,700 today. Tesla is over $700 today. So technology firms, we've even seen some of the largest fintech transactions in the world. One of them happened in Africa, where we saw Stripe acquiring Paystack in Nigeria. So we're seeing a lot of big deals happen. We are seeing consumers change their behavior, even in this pandemic. So it sort of sets the foundation and sets the pace of technology activities in 2021.
All right, okay. So now talking 2021, a lot of expectations are there. And you will agree with me that the outbreak of COVID-19 and all the offerings it gave us, if I put it that way, in 2020 is actually going to play a major role in the expectations we have for 2021. So let's have it from you.
I will just talk about 4 key things that we expect to happen in Nigeria and the rest of the world. The first one is that IT experts and companies that generally are going to focus more on consumer experience, that is customer user experience, consumer experience. So a lot of companies and a lot of IT experts are going to um, change their approach to user experience. And what that means is that IT experts involved in user experience are going to join the C-suite, that is the C-level suite, where you have chief customer officer or chief experience officer or head of user experience. And once you have people playing at that level, it makes the customer the focus of the board. It makes the customer the focus of management. And then we're now going to see more, because now you have to deliver your product, you have to deliver your service 1 million miles away. You will never see that customer, or you will never even see that employee. And then you still have to deliver a fantastic user experience 1 million miles away or 1,000 miles away, or from a distance, essentially. Banks are going to have customers bank with them without even stepping into the bank. We've seen Nigerian fintechs like Kuda Bank, deliver these experiences right from the get-go, and more banks are going to jump on that digital bank board. And this is not a case where we say digital bank and you still have to come into the bank to do your BVN, you still have to come into the bank to process a check. This is like digital bank, full, and from end to end digital. So user experience is going to be at the center stage of what any company or IT expert is doing this year. If a product has to go live, the big question is, can the customer use this product without ever seeing us? If the answer is no, then there's still a lot of work to be done. And that's what is going to make it center stage in 2021.
All right, so having talked about how consumer and user experience is going to be on the upscale as expected in 2021. So you said you had like 4. So let's have the remaining 3.
Number 2 is that we're going to see more digital transactions. And what that means is that we're going to see more channels for customers to pay. Just yesterday, I downloaded the Bamboo app, and what I saw was that it was amazing. When I wanted to like fund the account so that I can then buy US-based stocks, I saw that there were more than 6 channels for me to fund the account. I had 6 options through which I can fund my account. So what that means is that people are definitely thinking that the customer would need several options to then select the one that works best. And that is what we're going to see across several companies in 2021. We're going to see that a lot of companies would then, instead of having one option, maybe a POS device in their office, they are going to have virtual payments. They are going to have like 3-4 different providers in case one doesn't work for Mr. A, another from another one work. So we're going to see digital transactions, take off extensively. The third thing that we expect to happen in 2021 is a transformation of contact centers. So you recall that in the past and even presently, what we have is that banks and other institutions that use contact centers, they have an entire building where they put all of their contact center staff. What we saw during the lockdown is that these banks and the same companies that use contact centers had to lodge the contact center staff in several hotels where they can easily get to the contact center and make these calls with customers. And why did that happen? That happened because the entire contact center infrastructure sits in one place. The contact center infrastructure till date has not been decentralized. So what we expect in 2021 is that contact center infrastructure will become more decentralized. It will become connected to basic communication platforms like Zoom, like Google Chat, like Microsoft Teams, so that a contact center staff can essentially work from home. And this is happening even already in Africa. In South Africa, during the pandemic, in June 2020, Amazon hired 3,000 staff in South Africa to do digital jobs, and that included like providing customer support to all of Amazon's staff, customers across the world. So they were routing based on time zone. They were routing some calls to those 3,000 people they hired in South Africa. and these people were working from home. So, but by the time this goes virtual, work will be further redistributed. We're going to see more people getting hired in other parts of the country. Lastly, I don't know how much time we have, but lastly, we're going to see AI and analytics grow significantly. There's going to be a drive for self-service and automation. So a lot of things that we go in, like if I have to go into a particular place, just like our airports and all of that, I really don't expect people to serve me or provide that service to me. Like, I really just wonder why do we have someone doing this role that can be self-service, faster, and of course automated? There's going to be a reskilling of individuals, because a lot of IT experts and companies would now be looking at where, because of social distancing efforts, of course, COVID-19, requires less people in a room. So how can we reduce people in a space? And how do we reduce people in a space? That is by making some processes to be self-service, so the customers would do that thing themselves. Example is the airport. I don't expect that when I go to the airport, I will have someone check me in. I should be able to check myself in. In London, that is obtainable. In Dubai, that's obtainable. We expect that in Africa now. So if I go to the airport, I need to check myself in end to end. And then a few other places. We there are other use cases, even in malls, in shopping centers. I shouldn't shop things and then have to pay someone, when I can actually check those things myself and put up my card and pay and go. That reduces human interaction and, of course, protects us from COVID-19 virus. As you know, estimation is that Africa will get the vaccine in 2022. By estimation, it will take, at this pace, it will take France 400 years to vaccinate all of their citizens. So if it's taking France this amount of time to vaccinate just 291 people, just imagine how long it's going to take for these vaccines to get to Africa. And considering the fact that we did not have the opportunity or the budget and the finance to buy these vaccines ahead of time. So now these vaccine providers have to deliver the vaccines to people that have paid already. Then when they are done delivering those ones, they will then, African countries will then start acquiring and then can start delivering. So eventually we are going to be with the pandemic till about 2022. And that means that technology acceleration would keep happening in line with what COVID has brought to us today. Yeah, that's my submission.
Amazing. So if we picked all of this and I could just put pictures to all these explanations you are giving us, talking about the expectations, like 4 of them, and really I agree with you. But from what you've said, I see that all these 4 you've mentioned, probably to a large extent, the private sector is going to be playing a big role in this. But we can't rule out the place of government. So what do you expect from government in the tech space in terms of intervention, in terms of their responsibility in 2021?
The thing is that the role of government has always been regulation, and that is where they play best. And one of the things we've seen, with how government can handle technologies with the NIN issue, we've seen it. It's playing out, and it's something we all have to watch. First is that the announcement was made during COVID. Thousands of people are visiting the NIN centers, and then eventually we have an app. So it seems as if government is catching up with technology, but it's also important for us to highlight that they've come up quite strongly with the NIN registration process. So it started in sort of not so good way, but now the government has now announced an NIN app that would help people register and make COVID-19 short. However, the big opportunity or the big the white space for the government in 2021 will be regulating tech companies and generally all companies involved that are using technology. So the focus of the government has always been telecom companies. That has been the space. NCC, Nigerian Communication, that has been the space where they've been playing in. But now, or the CBN regulating traditional banks. However, we are now seeing every company becoming a tech company. So data protection, consumer rights, has to become a centerpiece of government engagement. So it becomes really important for the government to step up their game in regulation, and within that regulation, the low hanging fruit is data protection and consumer rights. That is where the government comes in, because a lot of data is going to be passing around, moving around, and someone must regulate how this data is used. It's unfortunate that the burden is falling on both private sector and government at the same time. However, we all have to step up our game at this time, especially for the government.
So, well, thanks so much, Tochukwu, for sharing with us on Techbridge on Lagos Television, the expectations. So we'll be here by God's grace by the end of 2021 to tick all this, to mark all of this if they actually play out. Thanks so much for connecting. Well, that was Tochukwu Egesi talking about the expectations from his own perspective. And you agree with me that Tochukwu is one of the key players in the tech space in Nigeria and even globally. The guy is really making waves over there. So thanks so much, Tochukwu, once again. So as a way of recap, Tochukwu had 4 major concerns, 4 major expectations, key areas that we should expect transformation, a big one in 2021. So way of recap, he talked about the customer, the user experience increase in that sector, and he was also optimistic that consumer user experience managers are going to take up leadership roles, take up executive roles in major tech firms. Well, we'll see to that. Then he also mentioned 3 other ones, and that is talking about the fact that there will be more digital transformation across board. And I think that started in 2020. So we should expect a full-blown arrangement in 2021. Then he also mentioned the fact that contact centers are going to be more virtual. With the experience, or let me say with the example he cited while he was talking, I think that is closer than we think. And he also mentioned lastly about AI and automated analysis. Talking about automation, for me, that is where we are really going to. Should we say thanks to COVID-19 really for opening our eyes to all of these offerings? I don't know if that is right, but most people believe in it, especially people in the tech space. They believe that COVID-19 comes with its own blessings and challenges as well. So if you ask me, let's keep our fingers crossed and let's just keep running with technology. We should be open-minded enough. Well, that is it. 2021 is loaded and it's of high hopes. For me, I'm really expectant, and I'm also going to encourage everyone to keep an open mind, take up little courses, learn new skills, reskill. Like Tochukwu said, we need to reskill ourselves to fit in. And of course, companies and firms need to come to the reality of the fact that we don't always have to come to work to get things done. Things can be done virtually and even better. So that is the reality we should have now for users and of course for tech firm owners and corporate bodies generally, because government is also deploying virtual means to get things done. So many thanks for connecting with us on today's episode of Techbridge. Do remember that you can connect with Techbridge on Facebook, that is Techbridge LTV, and of course on YouTube, Techbridge LTV as well. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can have a prompt of this fresh episode as we upload and also have access to all the previous episodes. But before I go here, I want to seize this opportunity to thank all of our guests, everyone who has contributed qualitatively to our content in 2020 and also in previous years. And I really want to appreciate you for all of this. So we hope to do more in 2021. And of course, you viewers, you really are the king here. This show is yours. And we thank you for all your comments. They are really motivating. So till some other time, keep innovating, keep achieving more, and keep leveraging on technology. I am Sheyi from Yola today. Bye for now.